775.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Radio Show, only on Financial News and Talk. Now live in studio, your host, local and national real estate expert and consumer advocate, Ron Siegel.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries. As we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media, this is the show that connects the dots of confusion delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family or business can benefit from current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day. We're a very focused show. We only chat about items that affect the roof over your head, your bank account, and anything I feel would benefit you. But before we get into our intriguing content today, please join me in welcoming our featured guest and repeat offender. Brent Humpherys is in the house. Welcome.
Thanks for having me, Ron. Good to be here.
Glad to have you with us. And let me remind you, if you ever have any home or finance related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you. And you can reach out to me directly, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. or RonSiegelRadio.com. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are no operators standing by. I am it.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
While I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan or plan to save you money, I personally work with you. Even if you don't have any needs today, save this number in your phone, future reference, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And yes, you can just type that in right now. Call, hang up. I get it. Most people hang up on me anyway. So just throw that in there.
You don't have any hang-ups, Ron.
No hang-ups here. No hang-ups here. That's the idea. Yeah, I don't know about you. Let's see it today. You know something? There are funny times when guests just kind of set themselves up perfectly. And Brent Humpherys in the house today. Now, Brent, I don't know all the parameters of this one, but today is National Moon Day, so please refrain from mooning everybody here. I don't know if that's what they mean by National Moon Day. Yeah, I'll get even with you real quick.
I'm my dad's son.
Oh, geez. I think the guys are going to get a big kick out of this one today. Okay, National Pennsylvania Day. I don't get that one, so we're just going to throw that one right out. Get out of the doghouse day. That's where I live. Better the doghouse than the outhouse. I just throw that in there. And it is also National Lollipop Day. So there's a sucker born every minute. You're infectious, Brent. I somehow, just being around you, some of these things pop out of my mouth. Let's see what's going on in the markets today. The Dow Jones Industrial Average, it is down 68 points. Why? I'll tell you in a minute. The NASDAQ, it's up 11. I'm sorry, the S&P 500 up 11. And the NASDAQ, we know it only goes in one direction, although we did see a couple days last week that the NASDAQ was off by a little. But today, the NASDAQ up 154.8. We always see the NASDAQ going up. A lot of that has to do with some of the tech stocks. Let's see which one's doing it today. So we see Apple is up, Microsoft is up. Well, we know what's causing the NASDAQ to be up. Unbelievable. Amazon is up 170 points today. 170. What does Jeff Bezos say about it? Yeah, enough of that, Bezos. Enough of that. Brent, your Tesla stock, it's up 2.55. I don't know if he owns stock or not, but I know he's a Tesla driver. So that one's at 1,500. Think about that. That was at 400 and change just a few months ago when the country shut down. So it's up 1,100 some points, 1,000 points. And Amazon, again, up 175 points just today. Unbelievable how that's going. Moderna, it's down $10 a share. Why? I'll tell you what's going on. I'm fascinated by watching what's going on the Dow being down today. when AstraZeneca came out with a great study, a great report today talking about their trials for a vaccine. Unreal. Why would the stock market be down on that information? Well, maybe it's because of some of these governors and mayors that are consistently trying to sing the negative issues that are going on in our world. And yes, there are some negative issues. I am not out there saying that the coronavirus hoax is a hoax. I wouldn't say anything like that because I know there are people that will get upset with me. And no, I don't believe it's a hoax, but I must admit to you that being that we're still about 60 million cases behind the swine flu from 2009, I think that we're kind of overbearing with this one. Does it need to be the center of every news broadcast, or does it need to be the entirety of every news broadcast? I don't think so. Do we need to take it seriously? Absolutely. Do we need to have personal responsibility? Absolutely. Do we need to be making sure that we have our masks with us? I saw Brent had his right here when he walked in the door. So Vanna has the mask over on my side over here.
Do I look masculine right now?
Nope, you look a lot better with that on. I'm right with you there, buddy. I'm right with you.
Face.
Okay, so yes, we have to have that personal responsibility. But I don't think that we need to close the world. I noticed there was one county recently that they talk about all of the numbers of coronavirus testing. You know the number that they neglected, which is outpacing coronavirus deaths? The increase in suicides. Why aren't we talking about that? Why are we not getting into some of these other issues? I just throw that out there to you that we've got to be real careful of what we're doing and how we attribute everything to the coronavirus. Why is it that when people go to get tested, and I think that, I listened to the president over the weekend, and I can say from firsthand experience to some listeners of Ron Siegel Radio that there are people that are over testing, right? I know people for individual desires are already had 3 to 5 tests themselves. And everyone has come back negative, 3 to 5 tests. Now, one of the comments that I get all the time, well, Ron, do you know anybody personally that this is affected? If you knew anybody personally, you wouldn't have these same opinions. Well, that just goes to show that somebody's making comments and they're very, very ignorant, because I've got family members that have been severely affected. I've got close friends who have had family members who have passed. I have had friends and acquaintances who have had family members that did not get the treatment that they needed because the hospitals were not accepting people, because they were waiting because of the amount of people that were due in. I have had individuals that I know who have had family members die of other issues who couldn't be with their family because the hospitals were quarantining over coronavirus. So yes, I have had some very close personal relationships with people, and I still say the exact same thing, that the issue is personal responsibility. If you are very vulnerable, you need to be more cautious. I say the same thing about people, and I don't put them in the same class. I know there are people that say the flu, it's nothing more than a flu. This is more severe than the flu. It's more contagious, apparently, than a flu. But you know something? When somebody's got the flu, I probably take a step backwards. I might not even associate with them. I might not go out to dinner with somebody who's got the flu. That's just the way it is, right? Because I don't want to get it. I work, I have responsibilities, I have a family to take care of. I have a daughter, I shouldn't say this on air, but I'm going to anyway because I started the sentence. I have a daughter-in-law that's pregnant, right? I want her to be as safe as possible with all these different issues, right? Personal responsibility. Just my opinion. I welcome yours, Ron, at ronsiegelradio.com. Talking about personal responsibility, more rioting in Seattle. Can you believe this garbage? Unreal. I don't understand why the police there. Portland, the mayor there does not want he says that the president of the United States doesn't have a right to send people in to protect a federal building that the mayor of Portland refuses to do. I wonder if the mayor of Portland has any idea the hierarchy of responsibility. I think, maybe I'm wrong. Again, I welcome your comments, but I think the president kind of supersedes a local mayor. Just throw that out there for you. Unreal. Police officer in Washington killed following a traffic stop is in the daily briefing. Unreal how people are not respecting the police. I am a big police proponent. Don't call me if you're one of the anti-policers. I will shred you. We will debate it and you'll be shredded. Unbelievable how some of these people are just not out there standing up for police. Unreal. Did you watch Harris Faulkner's show with Sean Hannity? I saw the original show with Sean Hannity. Yes, I know Sean Hannity only has one point of view, and it's not a news show, so don't tell me that you're listening to Sean Hannity for news. He's not a news person. But when he had a conversation with Horace Lorenzo Anderson Sr., whose son was killed, a 19-year-old black man shot and killed last month in Seattle's Capitol Hill organized protest, the CHOP area, that is just dereliction of duty for the city of Seattle. I couldn't imagine anything worse in my life than having a child killed. And this man is going on TV talking about how to make change. Unreal. I get chills every time I talk about this subject, every time I hear anything about this gentleman that's coming on TV. Unreal. And yes, over the weekend, we did lose an icon. I am not a fan of John Lewis's politics, but you know something? If you cannot be respectful and understand the great things that John Lewis did as a civil rights individual, holy cow, fought the good fight, pancreatic cancer. Well, John Lewis passed away this weekend, and there's going to be a big hole in that area of civil rights movements with the loss of another icon in the arena. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, got an interesting broadcast lined up for you today. Our friend Brent Humpherys is in the house. He always brings some great information to share with us, how to reduce stress during a real estate transaction. Having beaten anorexia, he told me there's something about meat. I don't know what he means by that, but we'll get into it. Thinking of selling your house now may be the right time. And marriage advice from Ron Siegel Radio. We have a comment or question that came in about two individuals not getting married but wanting them to live together. She wants to sell her house. He doesn't want her on title on his. We'll talk about that as well. You can reach me anytime. Off-air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Connect with us, facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio, on Twitter @Ron Siegel, and if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1, Ron Siegel the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Did you know that banks and credit bureaus are rewarded financially if you have bad credit? And the worse your credit score is, the more money they can make off of you? How does that make you feel, knowing that banks are getting rich off of your hard-earned money? How does it make you feel, knowing that if a bank or a credit bureau makes a mistake on your credit report, they benefit from it and it hurts you? The Fair Credit Report Act of 1971 requires banks and credit bureaus to report only accurate information, and nearly 100% of all credit reports are inaccurate. If you're sick and tired of being broke and tired of being robbed by the banks, you owe it to yourself and to your family to call Rondi. Rondi is a FICO-certified credit professional and has helped thousands of people just like you get out of debt and establish great credit. Rondi's number is 855-608-1990. Again, that's 855-608-1990. Or visit creditsanitizer.com. Again, that website is creditsanitizer.com.
Are you a veteran, own a home, and need money? The Siegel Lending Team is here to help veterans refinance and get the money they need. The VA 100 lets you borrow up to 100% of your home's value, refinance your mortgages, consolidate credit cards, and lower your payments by an average of $700 a month. And the Siegel Lending Team knows that character means more than a credit score. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 21037, and DRE number 018694452.
Are you a veteran, police officer, firefighter, doctor, nurse, or teacher? If so, you qualify as one of Ron Siegel's VIP heroes, and we have rewards up to $5,000 or $10,000 when you buy, sell, or refinance a home with one of the Ron Siegel radio partners. As one of the heroes, real estate agents will rebate part of their commission, lending partners will give a credit at closing, the title company has special published rates, and many other service providers have incentives too. All you need to do is call Ron Siegel Radio at 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit VIPHeroProgram.com. Just think about what you will do with all the rebates and incentives from the partners of Ron Siegel Radio. Just call us at 800-306-1990 so we can show you our appreciation for your service.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Mortgage Minute today being brought to you by our friends at Gold Star Mortgage. When you're ready for that next mortgage, Gold Star has the programs and the products. Check them out, Gold Star. Hey, how do you like this one? goldstarmortgage.co, goldstarmortgage.co. Leave the M off, and you'll get right to us, goldstarmortgage.co. What's happening in the Mortgage Minute? The Dow Jones Industrial Average is down 50 points now. The S&P 500 up 1039. NASDAQ, it's up 159 points. The 30-year mortgage-backed security, that bond is up 5 basis points, which means interest rates are down ever so slightly. And all of that is great information that you can find right there on Google.com. On Ron Siegel Radio, you come to find out why that is happening. Well, you got a lot going on right now, according to Yelp. And I am not a big Yelper. My wife loves it, but I'm not a big fan. 66,000 small businesses. 66,000 small businesses will not come back. Ow! In an even more pessimistic report, Harvard estimates that 110,000 small businesses have shut down permanently. Ow! That's even more painful. Some businesses are having a hard time reopening because workers are making more than previously because of the additional stimulus checks. Those are set to expire the end of this month, but there is speculation they may be extended or just reduced. I'd love to see a bonus for people that go back to work instead of a bonus for people to stay home. Stocks lower, mortgage bonds higher so far this morning. Quiet economic news day, but a week full of housing data. Existing home sales, new home sales, FHFA, House Price Index, all due to be released this week. As you know, if you are a regular listener of Ron Siegel Radio, I am a big fan of the FHFA index because that's really gearing more toward the homes that are not going to be skewed in price by jumbo mortgages. I just throw that out there for you. I'm going to share a chart with you in a little while today about continuing unemployment claims. That's a number that most people are not talking about, and the reason that they're not talking about it is they don't understand it. According to John Malden, he discussed unemployment figures in his weekly letter that are very much in line with what we have been talking about in coverage of initial jobless claims last week. He estimates that unemployment rate is near 20%, and when taking part-time workers into account, closer to 23%. Although we've been seeing initial jobless claims improve slightly, as well as continuing claims, the total people receiving benefits has continued to climb. And a lot of that has to do with PUA, or the Pandemic Unemployment Assistance, which continues to grow. And again, I've got that chart that shows that there are 32 million people receiving some type of unemployment benefit. That's about 165 million people in the U.S. workforce. So that's about 20% of the population getting some sort of benefit. Very painful right now. There's a lot of people that are experiencing pain, so we'd never take that lightly. But I will share with you that it is something we need to be watching. We need to understand how to deal with this. We need to understand how to help those that need help, and those that are out there just wanting to mooch off the system. Well, we need to get rid of that grouping there, because that's not helpful. If you need help, that's what the safety net is geared for. And a lot of people say, Ron, you don't really care about this group of people. Not true. I don't care about the people that are out there saying that want to stay home while you and I are out there working our tails off. Whatever we do, it doesn't matter. I mean, obviously my tail does not get worked off. I wish it would work off, but that doesn't happen. But the bottom line is those people that can work, should work, if they're going to get a benefit, go do some public service. They should have to be forced, in my opinion, to do some sort of public service if they're going to get a benefit. They can go by the freeways and clean trash. They can pick up trash along the beaches. I've started seeing now where, unfortunately, and again, you can't legislate this stuff, people. It doesn't work. Just like plastic straws getting out into the environment. I'm not for them being in the environment, but the legislation doesn't work. How about seeing some of these surgical masks that are now being trashed along the beaches? Right? It's just people that are not doing the right thing. I got that information on the unemployment right there if you're watching us. RonSiegelRadio.tv. That is the Mortgage Minute, brought to you by our friends at Gold Star Mortgage. When you're ready for that next mortgage, Gold Star has the programs and the products. You just need to make the call. This morning, we've got in the house, our good friend Brent Humpherys is here. We're chatting about real estate. Brent always brings us some great information. And we had a few notes. A lot of times, as you know, I have no notes when I talk to the really educated people that come on the show. Brent happens to be one of the really educated people that wants me to act like I know what I'm talking about. So he sends me notes and then changes them so I don't know what I'm talking about. But Brent, you came up with this acronym of MEAT. So are we talking steak, pork? What kind of meat are we talking here?
Where are we eating after this?
Kimmy's coffee cup.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, in fairness, I didn't change the notes. I just put an acronym together and added a couple of things. But so
wait, I just put an acronym and added a couple of things, but I didn't change anything.
All right. We should display the notes on the on the screen share.
That means I'd have to work.
I need to be exonerated.
Okay.
Ron, real estate is stressful, and I can't get rid of all the stress, nor is this broadcast intended to diagnose or treat any disease. But there are some practical nuts and bolts things that you can do that I've learned over a few hundred transactions that will help significantly reduce the stress in a real estate transaction.
Okay.
Am I on here?
You're on. I don't know why it seems like it's a little quiet to me, but you're on.
Your friend Mike wants to socially distance. Sorry.
I could understand that.
With jokes like that, I probably won't be invited back. Meat. So the 4 of the top.
My guys are getting worn out from you today.
Yeah, I'm sorry. 4 of the top stressors in a real estate transaction are the move date, the economics, the appointments, and believe it or not, termite. And so what I thought I would do is I would share some practical steps on each.
Appointments.
Appointments, yes.
Okay.
Why don't we start with appointments since you asked? So in real estate, once you get into contract, well, actually, before you get into contract, you've got showing appointments. Just the fact of having strangers come through your home.
So you're basically referring on this, as we're talking here, it's for the seller.
Yes. Oh, yeah. This entire discussion is within the context of the seller.
Okay.
I guess I should have said that. Thank you.
I'm just a simple guy trying to understand what the heck we're talking about here.
Part of reducing stress is knowing what you're talking about. All right. So that's 100% on me. So let's take the appointments then.
Okay.
So showing appointments. I mean, you've got your seller, you're on the market, and you now are in for 6 days to maybe 30 days of strangers coming through your home at all kinds of times. You don't know them. You're supposed to be gone when a seller comes or when a buyer comes through. So how can you reduce stress on that? Well, first of all, having decent advance notice or being aware of what the expectations are to set an appointment. So someone's driving by and they see a for sale sign in the yard. They can't just suddenly come up and ring your doorbell. I mean, I know that that's happened. But
Never. No, that never happens, Brent.
the agent should look at the confidential showing instructions, find out if there are alarm codes and different things and gate codes.
Okay, wait, we got to go back again. Confidential showing instructions. What the heck does that mean? We're simple people here, Brent.
When an agent is logged into the multiple listing service, they will have access to 2 or 3 sections of information that the general public doesn't.
Okay.
So if you put in your 4-bedroom, 3-bath, 3,000 square foot home on Realtor.com, Realtor.com will display the beds, the baths, and the size. But agents will also put in how to show the property and a paragraph of who to contact, what the advance notice is. Do you need an appointment confirmation? Or if you've just said, hey, I'm coming with 30 minutes to 60 minutes notice, can you just show up? That information will not go out to Realtor.com or the other sites.
Okay. So it makes sense. There's information that is pertinent,
right,
within the industry, but not pertinent to just the average consumer that's walking by.
Correct.
Okay.
And so it's important to sit down with your seller, if you're an agent, and ask, are there certain times that you would prefer people to be coming through your home? Are you telecommuting due to COVID, where every Tuesday afternoon you've got this Zoom conference call and you don't want people walking through? Block those out in the showing instructions. Tuesday from 1 to 3, no showings preferred.
Do agents listen?
They're supposed to.
Okay.
I'm answering it like a politician, right?
Okay, so the bottom line is that you can put that in there, but be aware that you may get contacted with agents that, they're with all due respect to the agents, right? They're trying to do the best they can for their client. So even though the ideal, they might look at it and say, well, ideally we want 2 hours notice, but I'm here right now. Is it possible? Because my clients, and I know Brent has this happen all the time, where you've got somebody that's flying in for a very short period of time. You may be driving by a property that you weren't planning on, that may not have shown up in the criteria, because we have known in the past of consumers that change their mind.
That happens all the time.
Right? So it might be that they find a property that, wasn't on the tour, and just by doing a good job for your client, you actually make a phone call and say, by chance, I know that this is not our norm, but by chance, is it available? So that's sometimes that's just an agent doing a good job or trying to be as accommodative as possible. But those notes are there for a good reason. We're going to talk about MET when we come back. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. We'll also talk maybe a little bit about thinking of selling your house. Is now the right time? Well, we've got the agent right here in the house, a mega agent. Brent Humpherys is in the house. He'll be able to answer that question. And she wants advice about selling her home to move in with a boyfriend. We might even ask the agent about that as well. Brent Humpherys is with us. So are you. Stay tuned. We'll be back. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Connect with us, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio, on Twitter @Ron Siegel. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, shame on you, but the replay is available. Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Siegel Lending Team offers you buying power. Let's say you can afford a monthly mortgage payment, including principal and interest, of around $1,900. With today's rate on a 30-year fixed mortgage of 3.75%, APR 3.85%, that payment could support a $416,000 mortgage. But if you wait and rates tick up to around 6.5%, which is roughly the average home mortgage rate over the past 30 years, that same $1,900 mortgage payment, including principal and interest, may only be able to support a $314,000 mortgage. That's over $100,000 worth of home you're missing out on by waiting. That's buying power. All you need to do to get started is reach out to the Siegel Lending Team at 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Payment example excludes taxes and insurance. Call us for full details, 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990 or SiegelLendingTeam.com. Equal housing lender, licensed under NMLS number 217037.
Are you purchasing or own a luxury home? If you're like so many others, your home is your largest asset and the mortgage is your largest debt. The Siegel Lending Team has some amazing financing opportunities right now. Jumbo loans up to $2 million, 30-year rates below 4%, 15-year rates near 3.5%, and if you can believe it, 7-year interest-only hybrids in low 3s. The Siegel Lending Team has all the options for your jumbo or second home loan requirements. Take advantage of them while you can. To learn more about all the other financing products available from the Siegel Lending Team, call 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Again, call 1-800-306-1990. Rates subject to change without notice. Licensed by NMLS ID 217037 and 145502. Equal housing lender.
Homeowners that are 62 and older are about to find out a great way to live a better retirement. It's called a reverse mortgage, and SLT can help you learn more. Call the Siegel Lending Team at 800-306-1990 right now to receive your free booklet with no obligation. It answers questions like how a reverse mortgage works, how much you qualify for, the ways to receive your money, and more. When you call the experts at Siegel Lending Team today, you'll learn the benefits of a government-insured reverse mortgage, how it will eliminate your monthly mortgage payments, and give you tax-free cash from the equity in your home. Here's the best part. You still own your home. Now is the best time to take control of your retirement. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990 to get your free brochure. Call today or visit our website at SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com, or simply call 800-306-1990.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The real-time real estate segment today being brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Text ATP to 79564, or you can text SLT Home Digest to 79564. Either one, the digest is actually one of the great tools that we have right now for you. It is free. It will tell you exactly what the market believes about your property. It'll tell you what the county recorder knows about your property. Text SLT Home Digest to 79564. Thinking of selling your house? Now may be the right time. Inventory is arguably the biggest challenge for buyers in today's housing market. Simply more buyers actively looking for homes to purchase than there are sellers selling them, so the scale is tipped in favor of the sellers. According to the latest existing home sales report from the National Association of Realtors, total housing inventory is down 18.8% from 1 year ago. Inventory is well below what was available last year. The houses that do come to the market are selling very quickly. Sam Cotter, chief economist at Freddie Mac, notes, and I quote, "Simply put, new housing supply is not keeping up with rising demand. We estimate that the housing market is undersupplied by 3.3 million units, and the shortage is rising by about 300,000 units a year. More than half of all states have a housing shortage. Why is inventory so low? There are many reasons why it's hard to find a home to buy today, stemming from an undersupply of newly constructed homes to sellers pressing pause on their moving plans due to the current health pandemic. One of the key factors making it even more challenging, however, is the amount of time current homeowners are staying in their homes. There has truly been a fundamental shift in the market that started about 10 years ago. People are staying put longer, and it's contributing to the shortage of houses for sale. In 2019 profile of home buyers and sellers, NAR explained, quote, In 2019, the median tenure for sellers was 10 years. After 2008, the median tenure in home began to increase by 1 year each year. By 2011, the median tenure reached 9 years, where it remained for 3 consecutive years and jumped up again in 2014 to 10 years. Graph that I'm showing on our channels right now, historic data indicates that staying in a home for 5 to 7 years used to be the norm until the housing bubble burst. Since 2010, that length of time has trended upward toward 9 to 10 years, largely due to homeowners aiming to recoup their equity. Thankfully, with the strength of the market has gained over the last 10 years, today's homeowners are in a much better equity position. Now is a fantastic time for homeowners who are ready to make a move to break the 10-year trend and sell their houses, especially while buyer demand is so high. Bottom line, simply not enough houses for sale today if you're ready to leverage your equity and sell your house, or maybe just get some money out of the property to buy more rental property. Give me a call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. That is the Real-Time Real Estate segment, brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Text SLT Home Digest to 79564. Find that dream home before someone else does. Continuing our conversation, Brent Humpherys is in the house. He is a mega producer in real estate, talking about meat today. I don't know what he's referring to when it comes to meat, but before the break, he started talking about meat and appointments. I just throw that out there, and he got to a whole whopping one item in his appointment part, and I interrupted him. So let's get back to appointments.
Ron, when you go off to college, what's the first thing that you look at? You look at
when the party starts.
You look at a course schedule, right? Where am I expected to be? What dates? What building? What room numbers? In real estate, when you get into contract, there are multiple appointments. There's an appraisal. There's a general physical inspection. There are usually additional inspections: roof, plumbing, electrical, mold, and what have you. There's the lender's appraisal. There's the buyer's final walkthrough. What if you could know in advance, or have your agent sit down with you and talk you through the appointments that are coming up, when they are, those that are, a date is known, and whether you're expected to be there or whether you're actually expected to be gone, so you could prepare? That reduces a ton of stress.
And so far what you've articulated as the benefits there all comes down to the same simple item:
communication,
knowledge.
Yeah,
communication, knowledge, right? And that's why you're hiring the real estate agent. You're not going to find this on Zillow. You're not going to find this on Realtor.com. You're not going to find this on these other websites, because they just want you to find a piece of property. They're not necessarily helping you navigate the transaction. And I've shared that with you before, that you don't need a real estate agent to find a property that's on the multiple listing service. There's many, many ways of doing that. I think if you were listening to us last week, Brent was sharing that he's on like 1,700 websites or services or searches or whatever, right? So you can find the properties that way. But getting the education, that's a different story.
There's a reason thank you. There's a real reason that real estate agents generally, at least I think, don't have a lot of stress. I mean, there are stressful things that happen, but we have knowledge of what's coming up.
Right.
And so, we're not as concerned, because
although most of you have not been through a pandemic before.
No, this is a very unique time.
Time, right.
Understanding the appointments, when you're expected, when you're not, a big deal. Back to the M and me, the moving. Okay, if you're going to sell your home, chances are you're going to move, except in that rare situation where you're underwater, an investor comes along, buys the property, and rents back to you. But that's rare.
Right.
Well, the problem is that the moving is often an uncertain date. Why? Now, I'm not here on a lender's broadcast and a mega lender. I'm going to throw it back to you, but you are. And my clients have worked with you. But the facts are that moving often has to do with the lender and their ability to get everything back from the borrower, and to be able to underwrite the loan and issue the closing disclosure, and then wait the 3 days and then get it funded and recorded. What if a seller is planning to move on a Thursday, the 18th, and it doesn't close until the following Monday, or the lender does a fantastic job, as you have on some of our deals, and hey, docs are ready a week early, and maybe the buyer wants to take advantage of that, but the seller needs to make plans.
Sure.
In terms of, sometimes it's the easiest words that trip me up. So the moving, here's what I recommend. If you're a seller and you know you're going to be moving, why not negotiate a rent back where after the transaction closes, you've got between 3 and 30 days to take your time at your convenience to exit the property and move everything out.
Now, that makes so much sense, and nobody does it, or very few. I should say nobody.
We do it all the time.
But But so few do it because it is a stressful time, and trying to coordinate. And we've all been involved. When I say all, those who have been in real estate or financing real estate for any length of time have been in those chain transactions, right? Where buyer A is selling their house and buyer B is buying their house, and then there's a buyer C, and it's
a domino.
They're trying to all coordinate a closing date, and the likelihood of all that happening without any hitches.
Right, because you have different title, different escrow, different agents, different lenders on all three.
Right. And the idea there is that you just take one piece of stress out. And I'm a big believer, get rid of as much stress as you can. And again, just this simple thing, especially if you're in California, a lot of the numbers I talk about are national numbers. But in California, we're looking at anywhere from $300,000 for some of us in the Inland Empire to multi-million-dollar transactions. And when you're talking about a rent back, you're generally going to be talking, it's not a profit center for anybody in most instances. So generally the agents are going to negotiate prorating whatever the buyer's principal, interest, taxes, insurance, and HOA is as a per day price. So maybe you're talking $150 a day. Maybe you're talking $40 a day, whatever the number is.
Cover the buyer's expenses, their whole, the seller's whole. That's good.
And I've rarely do I see, and again, I don't talk to the consumer from a property standpoint. I'm a numbers guy. But mom always wants to change the carpet, change the color of the paint, do some changes in the kitchen. I'm not being sexist. I'm just married 33 years. And it's mom that makes those decisions. I don't get a vote in that. Right?
Yeah, that's true. It's a discussion, but yeah.
Okay.
Economics.
Wait a second. We're going to talk economics and termites with Brent Humpherys when we come back. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. We're also going to do a little bit of marriage counseling with Brent Humpherys and I when a viewer listener question. Wow. You can reach me anytime. Off air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Connect with us. Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio, on Twitter @Ron Siegel. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, again, shame on you, but the replay is available. Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Most businesses struggle to get the online reviews they need to get a competitive edge over their competition. Rex is a brand new technology that uses text messages to direct happy clients to your online review sites, Zillow, Google, Facebook, and Yelp, and unhappy clients to a private survey, so businesses can win more customers. Try Rex today by going to www.meetrex.com.
Are you currently renting a home? Do you like paying someone else's mortgage payment? Why not explore the options to purchase your own home? Can you imagine a 30-year fixed-rate loan below 4.25% APR? This means with $10,500, you can purchase a $295,000 home and have a principal and interest payment of about $1,400 per month. What are you paying in rent? Does your family deserve the opportunity to take advantage of the current market? To learn more about these exciting opportunities, the Siegel Lending Team is standing by to speak with you. Call now, 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com or 1-800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by NMLS ID 217037 and 145502. Equal housing lender. Not endorsed or sponsored by any government agency.
Do you have a goal of mortgage-free home ownership? What if your home was valued at $500,000? Are you aware that a free and clear home could be costing you $2,500 every month, $30,000 per year? The mortgage planners at the Siegel Lending Team would like to show you how you can own your home, generate tax-free income, and accumulate family wealth. You simply need to call the Ron Siegel team at 1-800-306-1990. That is 1-800-306-1990. By sending the team a copy of your most recent mortgage statement, the team will send you a no-obligation real estate plan. You be the judge if this is right for your family. Again, all you have to do is send the team a copy of your mortgage statement by email to reap@ronsiegelradio.com or call today. Ron Siegel, 1-800-306-1990. That is 1-800-306-1990.
Rate subject to change and without notice. Licensed by the California DOC and BRE NMLS 217037 and 145502 and Cal BRE 01869452 and 1866775.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Your Credit Matters segment today being brought to you by CreditSanitizer.com. You have a credit report, it is wrong. What are you doing about it? Credit Sanitizer, they've got the solution. Here's our question from a listener. My boyfriend and I are planning on moving in together. We each have one child, planning on one more together. There's a large income disparity in his favor. He's purchasing the home and does not wish for me to have equity in the house. I completely understand his reason and have no desire to fight him on that. I will be selling my current home to move with him. What is the best way for me to contribute to our new life together while also making sure that I have an investment for myself? Later, should I need to purchase my own home or something for my child or children to inherit after I'm gone? I don't want to help pay the mortgage if I'm not receiving equity. I'm more than happy to pay for other things. With no home equity, I will not be building savings in that way. Does it make sense to take my current home profits after the sale and put it in a separate money-making account for the future? We both love each other and are comfortable with this arrangement. I just want to be sure that I'm also protecting myself just as he is, while also helping to contribute to our new household. So, Becky, I think there's a problem with your question. Your letter commentary to us should be changed just a little. Here's what I would say the question should be. I will be selling my current home to move with him. And I would say stop right there. That's all we needed out of that. That's why we don't have callers to call in on Ron Siegel Radio, is because sometimes the questions will take way too long, and we could have stopped this one right here. Why sell your property? You're going to move in with your boyfriend. Okay, that's your choice. Why sell your property? Keep that property. If you mention in here that you've got profit in that property, you've been making payments already on that property, you've been able to afford that property, why sell it? Why not just rent out that property so you continue having a income stream from it? You continue gaining the appreciation from that property. And that way, if you're one of the 70% of people in Southern California, first-time marriages, that they go south, you have something to fall back on. You're also growing in appreciation. Somebody else is making that mortgage payment for you. Somebody else is helping create a savings account. That's called equity and your amortization of the property. Why sell it? Just an opinion from your friend here at Ron Siegel Radio. Brent, did I go wrong there?
Well, it's a much more complicated discussion, but it raised an eyebrow for me too, that if you are not married and you have a separate property and he wants to buy as a separate property, And so your finances are separated. Why relinquish a great property? I mean, when are you going to get a realtor on the air to say, why are you wanting to sell?
Exactly.
For me, based upon the circumstances, I'm not a marriage counselor or a premarital counselor, but just from a business standpoint, why would you want to sell your property?
That's my point.
And a plan B is always good. I mean, they may be very, very happy, but...
And we hope so.
Yeah, but what's going to happen if the relationship dissolves and you don't have a place to go?
Yeah, I think we're on the same page. That's your Credit Matters segment brought to you by creditsanitizer.com. Continuing our conversation, Brent Humpherys is in the house. We're chatting about real estate and meat. Actually, we're educating you, or Brent is educating us on how to take some of the stress out of real estate. And I can tell you this firsthand because I've known Brent several years. He's been on the broadcast many, many times. And I've chuckled at Brent many times because very, very rarely do you see a mega producing real estate professional who really does the whole transaction himself. And I think a lot of that has to do with systems and programs that are in place to get rid of some of the stress of the project and educate people in a very, very systematic way. And that's the way you have to be if you're going to do a lot of transactions. You got to have systems for everything. That's why it takes a full-time real estate professional to really do this job, in my opinion, the right way. But Brent, let's go on to, I think we were on economics.
Yeah. So obviously the money has a lot to do with the stress of a transaction. I mean, there's no stress if you think you're going to pocket $250,000, you pocket $280,000, right? Because the number went north. But what if the number goes south? You know, if you went to the grocery store, you put your mask on, you went to the grocery store and you asked how much for this item. Well, I don't know. It's about $18. Would you buy it? You'd say, well, what type of store is this? But in real estate, when the numbers are much, much more significant.
Went to the Apple store and they told me my computer is going to be about $2,000, but it could be $2,500 or $1,500.
Right. Why not go out and identify each of the services in a real estate transaction, escrow, title, termite, hazard report, et cetera, and get the actual fees. You know what the fees are based upon the sales price.
Right.
Well, except for termite. Termite obviously is how many bugs got in. And then actually put an estimate together. So when you're negotiating an offer, you know what it is you're going to pocket. Stress goes up when uncertainty goes up as well. And so imagine if the buyer says, I want you to do the termite. Okay, well, I haven't seen any termites. I'm pretty good. And then all of a sudden you find out that you need an $8,000 fumigation with a tent. Circus Vargas, as my kids call it. Well, when they were kids, right? Well, that's an $8,000 oops that you're going to spend that you didn't know.
And that's a biggie. And that's what I haven't really done that particular conversation with people, but I will have conversation with people that are considering selling their property about doing a consultation on what the costs are of their acquisition property, because they may find out that they can sell their departing property for less than what they thought and still get into what they want, or maybe they don't need, they can adjust, but it's all based on knowledge.
Correct. Yep.
And I think that's what you're really getting at there.
You just sit down with them and you explain each of the things. I mean, what I often see happen is that realtors and their seller sit down and they say, okay, seller's going to pay for this. Is that normal? Buyer's going to pay for this. Is this normal? Buyer and seller are going to split the escrow. Is that normal? Okay, is there a home warranty? Yeah, that's normal. Well, that's normal is great, right? But what happens when the money is going to be dispersed? You want to know what it is you're getting.
Sure.
That cha-ching has actually got to have some quantification to it. And all those numbers can be accounted for. Yes, the seller estimate is going to be an estimate, but you can get the big ones, right? Imagine if I went into your home, Ron, and said, and you said, what is your commission? I said, well, I'll let you know. It's probably going to be this, but it may change based upon my mood, right?
Right.
You'd be like, get out of here.
Right. Yeah, that's just not the way it works. And in the industry, there's something it's very, very simple, because most of the title companies will provide this to you or in any event. It's called a seller's net sheet, right? And they can do that, but it has to have a agent that's got the experience to say, something, I know where to get that, and I'm going to have it as part of, I don't know if you have it as part of your listing presentation or how you're doing it or with the contracts, but I know that knowing you well enough, it's well prepared, well in advance of anything else.
Thank you. Yeah, no, you're kind. Look, I've got a military relocation right now, orders to move, own the property 1 year, underwater. And we're looking at line by line before they've even hired me. They haven't even signed the listing agreement yet. This is totally in the infancy, right? I didn't plan to say this, but we looked at each of the statements. I got them about 6 different net sheets and realized that the person had prepaid their property taxes. And so based upon X number of days for a detached home in this community and my marketing, here's when you're going to exit. So for the 6 months of taxes you're going to get back, it's a substantial Melrose community. And so of the 10,000 or so that the person's underwater, they're really only underwater about 6. So there's another $4,000 in prorate that the person gets a windfall.
Sure.
That helps them make an educated decision. Now's the time, or let me wait another month or 2. It's not hard. You just have to pay attention.
Right. And you have to just know somebody that understands what they're doing. We only have a couple seconds left. Tell me about termite.
Well, it's good to have a good termite inspection up front, know what you're looking at, competitively bid it, and then write it into the contract and be able to respond with knowledge.
Great information, as always, from our friend Brent Humpherys. Humpherys Homes and Estates is the name of the company. And as always, we ask that first radio preset button to come back here and join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. Again, thanks to John and Sean for engineering us today. And, of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or to meet any of our guests, call me anytime, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And remember, make a lot of money so you can help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We will talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.